For God did not send the Son into the world to condemn the world, to judge the world, but that the world might be saved through Him. He who believes in Him is not judged. He who does not believe has been judged already because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. This is the judgment, that the light has come into the world, and men love the darkness rather than the light, for their deeds were evil. This illustration again from the movie Gladiator. I hate to use it, but it's so fitting. And if you've seen it, you know, I'll repeat it again, for those who weren't here, that the very beginning of the movie, there's this final battle between Rome and these Germanic barbarians for there to be peace throughout the empire. And they're standing there, this great burnt forest in between them, and they're there and they're on the other side. And the movie begins in the midst of this process where the general had sent a man, an ambassador on a horse, over there to offer peace. He sent him, submit to Rome and offer peace. And he's coming back to see, it's been a couple of hours, and all of a sudden you see his horse. He's coming and trotting across that woods with a headless man. And the general's seeing it coming, he says, they say no.
They say no.
The guy comes up, throws the head out on the ground. God sent His Son into this world. They put Him on a stick, brethren. They said no. If your family member goes to hell, it's because they said no. The guy you're witnessing to, and you give him this grace, this gospel, and they perished, they said no, and they crucified afresh the Son of God in their hearts, putting no in shame. So we need to give heed to this, especially in our church. Number one, if you even remotely think you're an unbeliever, why? I ask you, why? Why do you remain that way? There's no reason. And if you're thinking, well, what will people think? That's your idol. Get off of it, Rachel. Your idol is self. Care more about what Christ thinks about you. What good are you going to do to get the eyes of just these people in here and perish for eternity? It's not a good trade. Come clean. He says in that parable, he says, it was sown in an honest and good heart. Be honest. If you're not converted, you're not converted. Come clean. Be honest. Have a clean, what a blessed thing, a clean conscience. To know that I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine. Blessed assurance. And when we go out and preach, and we go out and witness, and we go out and share, push sinners, press them. Don't let them tell you, well, I bought a field, I can't come. You say, no, you can come. You are unwilling to come. Well, I have a wife, and it's difficult. Through many tribulations we must enter the kingdom. Well, I've been in church all my life. What are people going to think? Pride goes before destruction. And reason with them and say there's no excuse, there's no reason, it's all done, the table is set. Why would you not? One of these children, what do you think? You need to grow up and live a life of wickedness, and then you'll be fit to be converted? This ain't some twisted demonic, you're trying to earn it through sinning. Come. So I tell you, if you leave out of here today unconverted, it's your fault. And if you go to hell, it's your fault. Isn't that incredible just to have to say that? It is. And we will all stand and praise God for throwing you, soul and body, into hell. Because it will be right. But I'll tell you this, it won't be God's fault. He is sending him a judge. He will be sent to judge. But not now. Now's the day of salvation, and that's John's point. The shocker was he came and he died on the cross. He set men free. He bore the curse of the law and all of it. And he didn't judge anyone. And so we use this illustration of help us wrap our minds and feel the wonder of John living here. The story was told of this, the debtor, the story of the tenants who owed the landlord money. They had several. There were several of them that owed him. They were way back on their rent. And the landlord was a Christian. He thought, I'm going to teach him a lesson about the gospel. And so he writes a notice and hangs it on the door of the houses. And it says, on such and such a day, between the hours of 10 and 12, if you show up, I'm going to write you a receipt. And the deal will be clear. And so they all saw it, and of course they start thinking, where's the fine print, on this thing? And so the day comes, and the landlord goes into the office where he said he would be. He sat down at the desk, and he started waiting. And at 10 o'clock, and half after 10, 11, half after 11, and no one came. And right about 11:45, 11:50, one tenant pokes his head in. He says, come on in. So he comes in and he says, can I help you? He says, well, yeah, I'm here to get the receipt. And he says, well, do you believe me? He's looking at him and he says, yeah. And he says, well, how do you know? And he says, because my Lord is a good man. And he wouldn't lie. And he says, but how about you? Are you a good man? And he says, well, you didn't write any of that on the thing. You just said, come. And so he sat down and wrote out the receipt. And the guy started jumping. Obviously, it was a big amount. And he's going to bolt out the door. And he says, wait, it's not 12 yet. Have a seat right here. And after 12 came, he ran out. And he showed all the other people, they couldn't believe it. That is what Paul means when he says, today is the day of salvation. At an acceptable time, I'll listen to you. On the day of salvation, I helped you. And Paul knew the same thing as John, and that's why he wept with men so much. Because it's like the Lord said, how near you were to this kingdom if you would just believe. This period between the first and second coming, He waits for you, willing to save you. Not if you're good, not if you are a good man, not if you just would believe that He rewards those who seek Him and come in. Imagine one of those Israelites. Moses is standing there with that bronze serpent held up. He says, and God says, whoever looks. And they're all bitten by these. And imagine one of them dies. They die. And what would, imagine one of them dies, someone in your family, you're an Israelite, they die while the pole is being held up. And you go and start complaining to Moses that they died. Is it his fault? Is it all you had to do was look? That's all you had to do. And he compares that to faith. All men have to do is look, believe. Anyone, any of these kids can look. It doesn't matter if you've lived 6 years or 106 years. Anyone can look. A black man can look. A white man can look. A poor man can look. A rich man can look. A fat and a skinny man, a male or female, slave or free. Anyone can look. Look at what he says in Isaiah. Look unto me and what? Be saved. All the ends of the earth. Well, I can't look. I've gone too far this time. No, all the ends of the earth. That leper. Man, the shame of having leprosy in that day. You should imagine this guy, an outcast of society, the depression and scorn and psychological pain that this guy experiences. He comes up one time and says, Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean. I don't remember what he said. I am willing. Be made clean. That's the reality we're talking about. John he looks at the cross. The one thing I can say is he's willing to save. That's his conclusion from the cross. So I tell you, if you leave out of here today unconverted, it's your fault. And if you go to hell, it's your fault. He sent His Son. He's sending Him over to you as an enemy. He's offering peace. Today is the first coming. Today is the day of salvation. Today the landlord waits, ready. The vilest of sinner who truly believes that moment a pardon from Jesus receives.